Live.
All right, we'll tap into all systems, which is loading.
Okay, okay. And then we get ready to get to it.
We're official.
All right, we're good.
How you feeling, brother?
Everything is good. Everything is good. It been a long time coming. We all been into putting the process down and doing the work to deliver a superb product. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel good about that.
All right, I'm just typing to the Instagram where they can go.
Okay, okay.
Link in bio. All right, we are official, brother. We are official. Let me jump back. All right, we live. I got my brother with me.
Let's
We
go. Let's
haven't
go.
had the luxury to go live together on this platform too often. I believe we got one other in.
Yep,
So we
yep.
are streaming on all platforms. We're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, and we're live on YouTube. Peace
So,
to all. I'm glad that you are here with us. We're happy to announce this. We're super excited about everything that we have going on. We
right.
have been working diligently on what we're going to introduce you to tonight. Everyone knows that the Acre Boys have mastered the art of buying and selling land, and we have taught others to do the same thing, which we will always continue to do. But tonight, we want to introduce you to our new product line, and I'll let Jay finish that line off and tell you about our new product line. Let's go, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Now that new product line that we've been working on, right? That product line is called Acre Boys Farming, right? Now, when we talk about the next level of what we're doing, here's what happens, especially on a trajectory we were on, right? Of course, our major thing is the acquisition of land. That's our natural course of business, right? However, when we go into a lot of these spaces, a lot of people are asking us, well, what do I need? What would I do if I actually decide to actually keep the land? A lot of things based off of the certain climate that we're in right now, as far as self-sustainability, different things like that. People are asking different questions for different times, right? So this sparked the thought of Acre Boys Farming. So when we talk about Acre Boys Farming, we're talking about, bringing you the best actual product that there is on the market in order for you to actually indulge in. So what do? Ray and Jay, because we are responsible for what comes after the name, we went and sought out the best that there is as far as doing this farming thing. The credentials are through the roof, and he's a person that you've seen on our social media. He's a person that you've seen on our actual Facebook, and we're getting ready to introduce him and let y'all know who is going to be the instructor of Acre Boys Farming, and definitely y'all all in for a treat for sure.
Well put, brother. Well put. Well put. I'm just behind the scenes and I'm working. I'm doing one thing. I want to get all of these links together.
Okay.
But let's just dive straight into it. And I'll have the links for everybody that's ready for it. So why farming, right? Why farming? Why is farming important in our community? Why is farming important to our culture? We figured if we're going to be at some point the Acre Boys have became a voice in the culture. And I'm proud to say that. We're proud to represent that. And we figured if we're going to be a voice of the culture, we want to be involved in things that are impactful, things that's going to move the needle. That's a term that we use a lot. We're not clearly we want to make money just like anybody else that's in business, but we want to make meaningful money. We want to make money at the same time while helping other people. That's why we say things like we're changing lives 1 acre at a time. We want to involve ourselves in things that's practical. We want to involve ourselves that your families could tap into any of this information, keep with them for a lifetime, begin using this stuff immediately. That's why we came up with Acre Boys Farming. And clearly, as you can see, most of you guys know we're from the state of New York. We are not farmers, but we were smart enough to partner with a farmer who we're going to introduce to you. We're going to bring him to the stage, and then we're going to have a great conversation about why farming. He's the expert in the situation, and it's going to be a good night. We'll be on here for a little while. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to our expert for the night, our master farmer,
That's right.
Mr. Patrick Muhammad, aka the principal farmer.
Drum roll, please.
Pat, what's up, brother? What's up?
Yeah, how y'all feeling, man?
Excellent, excellent. Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better.
Man, I'm feeling good. It's raining outside, but when you're a farmer, you know raining is the guy's way of saying, "Let me get you a break." You got to go out there and do nothing and water the flowers today. So it's exciting, and that's what farming does. It makes you excited about the things that we take for granted. Rainwater is a good thing.
Right,
Sunlight is a good thing. You know, a cold winter is a good thing. It's going to kill the pest. And so I'm excited to be able to share not only with the Acre Boys team and the Acre Boys community, but this new community that we're forming that about farming is going to be exciting, because in this climate, if you can't feed your family, you're dependent on somebody else. And I grew up with a man's man. You know, my dad was like, "No, son, you take care of your family by all means necessary," right? And that means feeding them as well. So I'm excited, you know, to be here. I'm excited to be able to partner with two amazing young men that have brought something to our culture that had been foreign to our culture. It's not since our forefathers became disappointed from not getting the 40 acres and the mule that hope, that desire, that skill set, and that ability to have land, it had begun to become forgotten in our communities. It wasn't talked about. Nobody had any aspirations to do it. You know, we tried everything else. But land is so valuable, and is what every community needs, and it's what every nation needs. And so when you all took that journey almost 10 years ago and went into a room where it didn't look like you, and you all put your pride to the side and said, "Let us learn." You weren't learning for Ray and Jay. You were learning for the Black community and the brown community.
You're preaching, brother.
For those that were afraid to venture into unknown territory. And so to get a chance to partner with forerunners in that space, this Acre Boys farming is going to do the same thing. We're going to be forerunners in this space of learning how to grow yourself and grow food at the same time.
Definitely appreciate those words, brother. You know, one thing that I heard somebody say before is the same hand that feeds you got the power to starve you. So
come on now.
So when it comes to that, I think it is imperative for our community to go ahead and put ourselves in a position where we can go ahead and start growing our own, so we can take control of the things that are going on inside of our body, for sure.
That's right.
So Pat,
yes, sir.
In Patrick's form, because I knew you was gonna come on here guns blazing, but we have to lay the foundation down, right? You know, I have to give the brother his flowers while we're live. We talk a lot behind the scenes, and I don't want y'all to take this lightly. I don't want y'all to think that that we're just out here and we're partnering with anybody to try to bring something to the culture that is not of substance and that is not of value, because I want to jump into some of the things that you have accomplished, because I'm a fan. I admire everything that you have done. I'm a huge fan, and I'm telling you that on live, although we do talk a lot behind the scenes. So let's just dive into your resume. It's a lengthy resume, and I'll say some of the things that I know Jay can take it home from me based upon what our dealings have been thus far. The brother is a principal in real life, right? Principal of how long, Pat?
That's 27 years.
27 years as a principal. Clearly, he didn't start at the top if you've been in the game for 27 years. So that alone, I'm a coach. I'm a former coach, and I have a huge respect for anybody that worked with children. It's not for everybody. It takes a special kind of person to work with children. And these days, he's the principal of an agriculture school in Fulton County, Georgia, predominantly 800 students. 95% of those students look like you and I that's on this call, from grades K through 8. The property's on the 13-acre 13 acre. The property sits on 13 acres. It backs up to 800 acres. And he's out here taking our babies, showing them how to farm at an early age, teaching them about the science of agriculture, teaching them about how to go into business and grow things for themselves and all of those things. So that alone right there is like, shit, if we can clap, we'll get the big clap going on. If I had the buttons to going on, in the comments for my brother, because that's phenomenal. And those are the kind of things and kind of people we want to align ourselves with. So as far as your farming, Jay, you want to dive into some of the things we know about that he's accomplished as a farmer?
Yeah, man, for sure. For the things that I know about, let's talk about some notables too that he's worked with, man. You're talking about from the likes of Shaka Khan, helping her out on her farm. You have the football player Ezekiel Elliott, his father, that he did some work with on there. I mean, the accolades can go on. And I'm gonna tell, I don't know how many of y'all know much about John Deere, right? But John Deere traditionally doesn't, as far as a tractor company or a company that does a lot of different things, right? And traditionally, we're not on there. But Patrick has been the only brother that I know that has seen with his own John Deere commercial, something that I've never seen before. You know what I mean? So definitely that. And if you could give me one more, I know it is. You did a show on HGTV too as well, where you were building houses for teachers, if I'm correct about that.
Absolutely. It's called Home Free Season 2.
Okay. Home Free Season 2. And what is that?
And Mike Holmes.
Okay. All right. And what were y'all doing on there? Y'all were building homes for teachers, or what was that like?
We built 11 homes. So there were 13 contestants, and each person was building a home for a quote unquote hero. And so I selected one of my teachers who had never owned his own home, him and his mom. And so I went on to compete to build these homes. And as you built out, depending on where you finished, that's the home that your hero got. And my hero got home number 9, $480,000 home, free and clear.
Free and clear.
Beautiful.
Yeah, free and clear. It was an amazing house too. It was amazing, and we built it from the sticks, right? So, on that, I got experience and being with Mike Holmes, who was amazing, being with Tim Tebow, who his philanthropic achievements far outweigh his achievements on the football field and the baseball field. So that experience and doing something so selfless. I was away from my family and farm for 10 weeks to do something good for somebody else. So it's humbling, it was a lot for my family. You all been to the farm. When I left, I had 9 dogs, 30 cows, and 40 chickens, and my babies were young, and the wife had to lock it down.
Right.
But when you're doing something good for somebody else, it's not about you. And then you wait for your opportunity, your blessings to come. And I don't regret it because we've been blessed abundantly, so.
For sure.
Wow. Brother, continue to amaze me. That is awesome with good sauce on top of it. Free and clear home for $480,000. That's just a blessing right there. Yeah. That is a huge blessing. Let's dive into how we met. If you don't mind sharing the story of how we came into contact with each other and how we began our journey.
Yes, absolutely. They talk about you got to invest in yourself. And I'm an avid reader. I know Jay is. I don't know if I read as much as Jay, but I'm a reader and that kind of stuff. And that's called thunder.
Yeah, right.
So Invest Fest had come and gone for a couple years. I heard about it, and and so the year prior, I think I began to kind of catch Market Mondays or something. Went ahead and paid ahead. I said, I'm going to Invest Fest. I'm gonna go. I really didn't have, an objective other than to go. And so I went and sat in some sessions. I'm listening and start just interacting with people. And I came through the vending section one time and saw the booth. I saw y'all's booth. I went over and talked to 19 Keys team or whatever, and your booth just caught my attention. So I went into another session. I was like, man, I'm gonna go back and go to the Acre Boys, man. That's not like my language, Acre Boys. Right. And so I want to say I might have watched a video like in Invest Fest because I wasn't paying attention to something before I came back to you all. And so I came back and Jay was engaged, Ray was engaged, but Jay was engaged and I was like the next person. So as he finished his conversation, I kind of introduced myself and, and I think I probably said something like, have you ever thought about flipping, cows or something? And Jay gave me a nod, and I was like, okay. I said, well, there's some money in the livestock too, and if we get the land, I can keep the land and do something with it. And we didn't get a chance to exchange information, because the booth was full, man. People coming all over, and so when Jay got too consumed with other people, I kind of just faded away, and went to the rest of the session. The next day, I came, and I just came on the other side of the booth by happenstance. I saw Ray. And he was engaged, and I waited for a second. I said, hey, man, I talked to your buddy yesterday. What about – and Ray was like, oh, brother, we talked about you yesterday.
Right.
Like, oh. Right. And from there, we exchanged information, and word is bond. Once we made that contact, I came back out. I tried to go to one more session, and I was like, I made the connection I need. I left. I was like, this felt so good. I like these brothers' spirit. I think we aligned. I'm good. I came back and told the wife, I said, I met the greatest investment in Invest Fest. It's called Acre Boys. And after that, I kind of just binged everything you all had, just hoping I was going to get that text, And then once you got it, we started. I was good.
Wow. The universe brought us together, led them to the booth. And we've been locked in ever since. I told Jay when we first started and got on this journey, I've had some experience dealing with social media and doing things online and whatnot. This was Jay's first venture doing stuff online, and Jay never even had a Facebook page, anything like that. Right. And once we started the business, we were just talking one day, and I said, you'll be lucky that along our journey, if you find two real good people that you become real friends with in real life. You'll be lucky if you find two. We had a conversation yesterday. I said, I think we found one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And look, and I found two. See,
yeah, right.
you said it. You just said it, right? Man, y'all found one. I found two. And honestly, in this year, and especially these last 3-4 months we were locked in, right? If I look at my phone in the day, I'm like, man, I didn't talk to Ray J at all today. Like it was one day, like last week or the week before, I was like, we talked at all. Maybe just put something in the chat. Make sure we good. The energy, the synergy, y'all's ladies, man. I mean, I haven't even met them yet, but they give the energy as well and checking on you, making sure, sending stuff. And hey, Pat, this might be good for the page. I'm like, it's a whole family worth of teamwork. Right. And that's rare. And what I like to say to those that are listening in, when you're joining a community and to be around like-minded people, you want people who are like straight up honest on the screen and off the screen. Because we all know them people like, yeah. But when you meet them in person, you're like, oh, man, that's an alter ego that I met. I didn't even meet them yet.
Right.
Ray and Jay and Pat, this is what you're going to get. It's true, it's genuine, and it's one of a kind.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, we're the same in person as you're going to hear us talking this live. You're going to get the same type of energy. And you formulate between the three. Each of us personality will take you wherever you think it's going to take you, and you'll decide who we are and what our characters represent.
Right, for sure.
Pat, let's dive into what these people are here for. These people came to hear about. We have our new program set to drop June 15th, which is Sunday. Super excited about this. When I tell you, we've been working very diligently on this. We've been working for months to make sure that we have a great product, to make sure that it's not a question of does he know how to farm, right?
Right.
Do we have the product and did we convey it to that is simple enough for the everyday person to join our program and get started? That's what we wanted to convey with this program. that whether you live in an apartment building or whether you have 100 acres, you can get started with this program. So that's why it's been a while, and we do thank you, and we respect everybody that has been patient with us, for everybody that has joined the waiting list thus far. Thank you for doing that. But that is the reason why we have been a little slow on it, because we want to make sure that this is for the everyday person, that regardless of where you live at, you can get started with this program immediately once you enroll. And by the way, if you're looking to get on a waiting list, it's set to go live on Sunday. I dropped the link on Facebook and YouTube. The link is in the comments. You can click on that link to get into the waiting list. If you're on Instagram, comment the word farming, and it'll send you to the link where you can get on the waiting list for Sunday. So let's just dive straight into the juicy part, what they came to hear, Pat.
Yeah.
That's farming. Why is farming in today's society and community for our culture so important and necessary?
It is extremely important and necessary. I shared with the brothers before I came on, I'm about to celebrate a nice little birthday tomorrow. So I did some vitals, and looking at my vitals, the doctor was like, "Oh, the medicine is working, huh?" And I said, "What medicine?" She said, "Oh, we gave you a prescription last year to drop your cholesterol." I said, "Yeah, you did. I never went to the pharmacist." My pharmacist is my farm. And I go outside and get my medicine in my backyard. And then I bring it back into with the medicine woman and let her put it together. And so I dropped my cholesterol, and I'm sharing this with you. I dropped it from 280 something to 188.
Wow.
And that's from eating from my farm. And so why farming is important. One, we have to be able to sustain this life. Everybody that got this life, the most important thing to do is to keep it, right? Some people make money, and we've talked about this. Some people make money, and as quick as you make it, it's gone, right? So as quick as you can have this life could be gone. And so we want to help to show you how to sustain your life. And the best way to sustain your life is to be very intentional with everything you add into your mouth.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
And so you can control that by controlling your food. And it's simple. We make it, well, I won't say we make it. The world makes it as if it's a difficult task. But Acre Boys Farming is going to show you how simplistic it is. So we're going to show you how to source and to save seeds. My wife's classroom, we're growing peppers at the end of the year. Those peppers came from a pepper that she cut, making us a meal, that she took the seeds to her children and gave them a seed and showed them how to plant it. That's a free seed, right? So now they got peppers growing at their house. That's free. That can be duplicated time and time and time again. Okay. We're going to show you the proper way to prepare your space for your seeds, for your raised beds, for your fruit trees. Why did the Acre Boys partner with Patrick? I'm going to talk third person just for a second so it doesn't seem like I'm talking about myself. But the brother that's representing Acre Boys Farming is one that is multi-talented in the spaces of farming. So throughout the duration of our courses, you'll be able to go from growing on your windowsill to growing in raised beds, to growing in rows, to raising your chickens, to raising your meat, to even getting you a horse for recreation and raising your profits, right? So we're going to be able to show you a gamut of opportunities, but step by step, not for you to get it and then you get lost. We're going to hold you. And remember, I'm a principal by day now. I'm going to hold your hand and take you from kindergarten farming all the way to graduation.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, sure. Makes sense. Makes sense. And I think the distinction that you and Ray laid out, I think is very, very important, right? Because based off of, I know a little bit more because I'm on the inside, but based off a consumer level, right? When I hear the word farming, I don't necessarily see, like growing vegetables or different things like that. So I think that's definitely important that we're laying the distinction in between the two, because all of this is a form of farming. Like you said, there's so many different gamuts and facets, and what we're doing all encompassing is we're covering everything for you can get started on a beginner level to the place that you're actually advanced to as well. So I think that's very, very key of what we're saying. This is a product that's tailored for everyone to get started in some way, form of fashion, depending on what you actually have to work with.
Yeah. And Jay, you just dropped a nugget. You always dropping nuggets, but you really just gave one. So one of the reasons that our community runs away from the concept of farming is we instantly get a picture in our mind of some spot in Iowa, in Illinois, and it's rows and rows of corn. They got these big old silos and these big, but there's something called urban farming. They don't call it urban gardening. They call it urban farming. Well, you have to be able to speak the language of the people.
Right.
Well, the reason that it's called urban farming is because the USDA has changed the regulations so that people can come into the city that don't look like us and can turn their regentrified homes back into farms so that they can raise their crops in inner cities, and they call it urban farming. So they changed the requirements to 1/100th of an acre.
Oh, you
So now, if you have
dropping it.
1/100th of an acre, you are a farm and a farmer. Now, I know it's many people
simplify that, because that might have went over a few people's heads. So can you break what you just said down, because that is a jewel. Can you break that down into the most simplistic form so everybody can understand what he just went over when he just said that?
Yes. So now you qualify because they changed the regulations to 1/100th of an acre. So an acre, imagine a football field, and we're gonna divide that into just the number 100. You only need number one,
right,
of that 100, and you are a farm. So if you have a home that's 0.2 of an acre, if you have a condo with some land that's 1/100th of an acre, you technically are a farm, and we're going to show you what to do with your farm. There are some financial benefits from being identified as a farm. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. There are some tax benefits that all of us need help with. We're going to show you how to do that. But we're going to do that by helping you not only financially, but with your health. Okay? All of us should have herbs right now. There's no reason that we don't have herbs. Herbs are so easy to grow. Your window-shield should be full of herbs. It's going to keep the pest away too. Right? So all this stuff that the gnats and the flies that come in, you put some garlic and some chives right there, they're going to go away. So we're going to show you how to do that. So now that's going to encourage you to cook in the kitchen. You don't bring Chick-fil-A home and put some rosemary on it. Right? It's not the same. But if you cooking a steak in a skillet, now you can pinch you some rosemary and sprinkle it on it. So we're going to show you the benefits of doing that. And then we're going to take you outside, right into your front yards. There's a campaign in many cities, especially LA, where they're tearing up the lawns.
Yep.
And turning them into farms, right?
Yep.
We're going to, if you want to do that, we're going to show you how to do it. We'll show you how to do it in your subdivisions and beat back the homeowners association where you can grow right there inside of those communities. All of that will happen and is happening inside of Acre Boys Farming.
Nice. So Pat, we went ahead because we have a waiting list, and we have asked some of the questions from the people that's on that waiting list. Some of the questions that have came in over the last 2 or 3 months. We just compiled about 5 to 10 questions that we seen kept coming in over and over. So we want to ask on behalf of these people, because I'm assuming that most new farmers probably are going to have some of these same type of questions. So let's go ahead and ask you these questions. I hope that this answers. I got one young lady in the audience now saying, needing real hand-holding beginner level urban farming. and she wants to do this and start to begin with herbs in her gardening. Can we help? And I have another one saying, if I have a property, can you show me and assist me at establishing a small farm to sustain life on? Do you assist with finding farm land?
Hey, they talking our language. So the beautiful thing about this partnership, you have a person who farms in Patrick, okay, and I can show you everything to do on that land. But then you have two, Ray and Jay, that can help you find that land. Okay, that's what Acre Boys does. Acre Boys finds rural land at discounted prices. That sounds better than going to Target and Kmart to me. Okay, so they're going to show you how to get the best value land, and then now you with Acre Boys Farming, and we're going to show exactly what to do on that land. So for the sister that asked a question about holding their hand, yes, we can definitely hold your hand. So if you give me those questions, Ray, let's see if we can answer those and see if those answers help the sister at the same time.
All right, great. First one that came across at number one was, how do I start a farm with little or no money?
Absolutely. The first thing to do is start. The definition of a farm is identified by having a farmer, the person who maintains the animals and our crops. So when you wake up in the morning, call yourself, I am a farmer. You can write it on your glass. I am a farmer. And then we're going to show you. So don't worry about how much space you have. If you have a 2x2 square outside your back door, guess what? We got a raised bucket garden that we can make for you. So we remove all excuses. You are now crowned a farmer.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
Next question is, I like this question.
Okay.
Because our program is called Acre Boys Farming, How to Farm for Profit. And the next question is, what are the most profitable crops or animals to farm?
Most profitable, I'm gonna go microgreens. Microgreens are easy, low entry point. You can make money, and you can make money every 7 days with microgreens. Your high-end chefs like microgreens, and then you can go from salad and you go juice at the same time. So those wheatgrass shots that everybody pays $7 for a shot for, you pay $7 to get a whole bag of seeds. So imagine how many shots you get with a whole bag of microgreens, right? So it's definitely profit in that. Eggs is easy. It's not hard to get into the egg business, and it's cash. Everybody, they can run out. If they eat eggs, a family of 2 or 3, they can go through a dozen a week. So you get you 20 customers going through a dozen a week. It's not bad math, okay? And it's an easy entry point. Chickens are easy to feed. When you get into the heavy stuff like I do with the grass-fed cows and the grass-fed lamb, there's more inputs. And so you kind of want to wait, and get your capital up before you enter into that space. But microgreens are extremely easy to get in. We can even show you all. Now, I'm going to tease you a little bit because you got to get in the course to really understand this. But I can show you how to make money off of worms. Guess what? It's raining outside. I can go outside. I ain't got to spend no money. I go outside to get my first batch of worms, start feeding them, and they're going to multiply times 4 in a month. I got free, and then I'm going to sell it for $25 a pound. So, yeah, we got you. Just come on in the course. I can show you how to do it.
For sure.
Excellent answer. Next question. What equipment would a person need to start farming?
Excellent. Be honest with you all, when I moved from a 30-foot subdivision to 31 acres, I didn't even have a lawnmower. All right. We really just stepped out on faith and, we went head on, and so luckily I had the cows that could consume a lot of that grass. Because when it rains on 31 acres, you miss 2 weeks of grass cutting. That grass 6 feet tall.
Right.
And so what I recommend is that you start with what you can handle, not only financially, but emotionally, okay? Because I have daily work. Like, I work every day at the farm. And so depending on my schedule, some farm days are double days, meaning if I have something to do on Monday and my schedule's too busy, Tuesday I have to do Monday and Tuesday's work. It is what it is. And so you don't want to do more and get excited. And now I got 60 goats and 90 chickens, and I got gardens all over the place. That's good when it's going good. When it goes bad, it is horrendous. And so you'll hear me say multiple times inside of our course, less is best. Okay. Start with one fruit tree. Start with 2 herbs. Start with 1 butternut squash plant. Get a handle of that. See your pest load. See what inputs you need. And then you can scale. So we're going to teach you how to scale up so you're profitable going up instead of going up too big and now you're losing money.
Excellent. Excellent. Next one that came in, we'll do 2 more. And then we'll take it somewhere else. But the next one that came in is organic farming more profitable than conventional farming?
It is, because we've had to be. Y'all gonna learn that inside of us, we straight honest now. This ain't this. We don't have to be political. We control all of our narrative.
Right.
Organic is the word that's marketed. Okay.
Oh.
You want to do the best practices at all times. So I even tell my family, don't get stuck on the word organic, okay? Because if it came from China, China don't have organic. So you went all the way to the store about this organic garlic that came from China.
Right,
China don't have that organic. Okay, so don't get stuck on the word. You want people who are raising and growing as natural as possible without adding in inputs. And so the premise of the question that Ray gave about conventional farming is like the row crop farmers, those big money farmers that are spending $200,000-$300,000 on equipment. They're monocrop. They're growing all corn. Okay, so they might have 200 acres of corn. They can't be organic, right? Because they got to spray. You don't see nothing else growing. Ain't no weeds growing that corn.
Right.
So they got to spray. That's conventional farming. What organic does, because of the word, I can sell you a steak for $5. That same steak, I put the word organic on it, I can sell it to you for $13. Okay? It could be coming from the same cow. So don't get stuck on it. You want the best practices. So we call ourselves beyond organic. Because what we're doing is way beyond just the term and the phrase. We're actually doing what organic practices say they're doing.
Nice.
Well, that was something that I always wondered myself, because I've heard things like they put certain numbers on the fruit in stores that's supposed to represent if it's really organic or if it's not organic at all. And me and Jay was always say, well, how would you know? Like by just a sticker, if that's organic or if that's not organic. Like how would you besides the label?
You don't. And what I tell people is, I'm not monitoring my squash at 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
So if that fly, that bat, whatever's crawling, I'm not going out there to monitor it.
Right.
So for it to be totally not touched by, it has to be in a bubble.
Right.
And you don't want that. I want something that the ladybug lands on, right? I want something that it when it goes bad, it molds, it goes back into the ground, right?
Right.
I don't want something. I got a sticker on it, but that joker been the same way for 6 months. I don't want that.
Right.
Don't get stuck on it. We beyond organic.
I like that. I hope you copyrighted that, Pat. I like that. Beyond.
Acre Boys Farming got it. We got it.
All right, last question, and then we'll move on from the questions. Last question on that we received. This is like the top 5 or 6 questions that we already received. In Acre Boys Farming, you're calling it farming for profit. It says, how do we take our farm or crops and market it to? Who do we market it to? How do we get it sold?
Yeah. Those that enter and venture into Acre Boys Farming, you are one of a kind. The same people that you're telling you about to join the course, you're talking to them at work, you're talking to them, their cousins and family, they're not going to do it. That's okay, because those are your new customers. Okay. So what we're showing you is how to grow what you and your family need. Then we're going to show you how to can what you grow so you can have it, eat it now. Then you have some food for the winter. But after that, everything else you're selling. Okay, so it's one for now, one for later, and one to sell. That's our thinking. Everything we do now, save something. Everything else we need to sell. And so, my family, I don't know, we have 40 something chickens, 36 of them are hens. That's 36 eggs a day. It's 5 of us in our family, and only 2 of us eat eggs. I got a whole lot of eggs left over. So what do? I sell eggs.
Right.
People are happy. They're clean. All I got to do is my son goes and pick them up, wipes them off, put them in a carton, hit the button and say, we have eggs for sale. Okay. So what we're going to show you is when you plant a cucumber, one cucumber seed going to give you that vine. You're going to get a dozen cucumbers off that. 2, 4. Okay. Now everything else, those 8, those for sale. But what farming for profit is, Ray and Jay, we're not going to tell you to sell that cucumber for $1. No, we're going to take that cucumber with that tomato, with that onion. We're going to cut it up and put it in a jar. Then we're going to sell that for $8. Okay. So we're going to teach you value added. We're going to show you how to take fruits and vegetables from their current state. And then we're going to show you how to take them into a value added space. And now that's more profitable. That's what you're getting. You're getting a dozen years of being able to say, I don't like little money. I've been a principal, you all, so I don't have a lot of time. Okay. So I have to think through things. I can't go sit at a farmer's market with a table full of vegetables to make $40. That's not worth my time. Right. But instead of me going to sit there to make $40, I'm going to harvest my vegetables. We're going to make a slaw. We're going to make a chow chow. We're going to make a sauce. So when I come, everything I sell is $8, $10. So now in that same hour, I made $130 where my buddy selling vegetables only made $30, $40. That's the mind that you're getting in Acre Boys Farming.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
I love it. I love it. I love it. People, it's an excellent conversation, a much needed conversation. Definitely that's something that's needed, something that's tangible, something that's practical for our community. If any of this resonates with you, me and Jay say all the time, you have to act fast when you hear things that's of value. If you feel like this is an opportunity that can help you out or service you and your family, what you need to do, if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, the link is in the bio. Join our waiting list. We're set to go live with this information, our program, this Sunday, June 15th. It will be available for you to enter our organization because that's what this is. This is an organization / community that you'll be entering into. So comment the word farming if you're on Instagram to get that link to be a part of this movement. The Acre Boys themselves, we will be active in that community as well. We have hands-on and we'll be learning at the same time as you'll be learning. I'm eager to learn along with you. I'm eager for us to have these homework assignments because we'll be getting it done at the same time you'll be getting it done. I have a leg up on you because I speak to the brother on a daily basis. So I'll have the code. You know, I have the cheat code.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, just to add something else in here, y'all, growing doesn't only come in one capacity, right? Growing comes in a lot of different capacities. Let me give you the other element that you're going to get inside of Acre Boys Farming, right? The other element is growing mentally as well. You'll be surrounded with a group of like-minded individuals who are actually going towards the same mission and path in order to actually get these things done, right? So there's power in fellowship. There's power in what we call masterminding. Getting it, and you never know who you're going to meet inside. Even if we go to our Acre Boys or with us dealing with land inside of our community, inside it, there's so many people. There's friendships that get started. There's people who are doing deals together. The same thing. People are going to go back and forth and share information in your business partner. I'm telling y'all, I've experienced this on a lot of different levels, right? Your business partner is probably going to be somebody that you meet at a conference or inside of a group that you've actually joined because those people are on the same vibration as you. Just wanted to throw that in there for y'all.
Yeah. And I have so many farming friends that are waiting to be special guests. Right. So you're getting all of me. Right. And when I say all of me, I'm a student. I'm a principal but I'm a student of farming. I'm reading every day. I'm studying something. So it's not like, oh, if we get a day, we're not getting. I'm learning at the same time, level 12. So when y'all ready, I can take you to level 12. I'm working on level 15, right? But I have farming friends. We have over 40 families that have moved to a farm since our family has been on the farm. By visiting our farm, getting inspired, and say, hey, Pat, find a farm. And I was finding farms before I met Acre Boys. So just imagine now with Acre Boys, oh, man. Everybody gets a farm, right? And everybody can get it. That can be a reality. So our children's portfolios will look different than our portfolios.
Yeah, that what you just said, Pat, reminded me of a quote that I like too, and that quote was, "The person who stops learning will be perfectly educated to deal with a world that doesn't exist anymore."
Wow.
Perfectly educated.
Wow.
To deal with the world, because technology and everything is moving so fast. If you are not staying above the curve, if you are not staying into a place where you're constantly learning, you're going to become outdated. Now, the special thing that what he said is he's above the curve. So when the people that are inside of it are ready for the information, he's already done it already. So this is proper preparation for sure.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And I just want to jump in and say that our data tell us that our message resonates. The Acre Boys message in land ownership, it resonates more so with the ages 35 through 60, which says to us, these are grown adults, right? Sure, do we want to impact the next generation coming up? We love that when we have younger people come into our community. In fact, we just gave away a program to a young man that was 24 years old, because those are the people that we want to help carry the torch on and really want to get this information. However, most of the people that taps into our information, we're grown adults. And being that we are grown adults, that we have to start to really take serious about what we're putting in our mouths, our health conditions and things like that. And getting it from somebody that looks like you, we find that when people are in the presence of people that look like them, that speak like them, that's called the native tongue, we tend to mimic and model those people faster than you would other people. So you have to be health conscious these days. We have to take control of it. And we study, we read a lot of books. And one thing is saying the book is about self-mastery. And at the top of self-mastery is controlling thy palate, controlling what goes in your mouth, controlling what comes out your mouth, the language you use and things like that. And this is one way that we can control what we eating and what's going inside of our bodies, by learning how to grow your own food. And you don't have to start. Trust me, I'm on the inside of this program. This is designed if you have 100 acres or if you only have a windowsill. Just start, as Patrick said, just get started with one plant, right? Then move to 2, then move to 3. It's the same thing that we say about land investing. Don't worry about coming out the gate doing 5 deals. Let's just do a deal. Learn the ropes, learn the process, and then as you go and grow, right? As you grow, you'll start to move a lot faster. So I'm super excited to bring this. I'm happy to be a part of this, because I promise you, we say a lot. We may not be the boys, the Acre Boys that change the world, but we will be the ones that introduce the concept to spark the mind for somebody else to change the world. And that's a quote from the late, great Tupac. And that's our mission. That's our task. We're on we're trying to make land ownership look and seem cool, because it is. We're trying to make going back to farming look and seem cool, because it is, right? I had a guy in one of our comments yesterday mention that the reason why the post we put up mentioned that everybody ran from the South to the North and ran to New York and ran to Philly and ran to Chicago and all of these cities like that. And they ran to these places to escape, what was happening in the South. That may be true, but we can't live in the past. We have to understand what has happened to us and be solution based. And these days, I'm happy to be a part of the solution. And all you have to do is tap into that solution and walk the walk with us. Don't just hear us, walk the walk with us, so you can change your lives and pass this message on to the next person. The same way when hip hop came into play back in the early 70s, it wasn't as big as it was when it first started. it continued to spread. And that's our mission. Like, we have to start to take back the land. We have to get back to everyday practices. With all these things, the fear mongering coming down, if they're cutting Section 8 and they're cutting all these programs, what are some of these people going to do? You need to learn how to take care of your own self. So Acre Boys Farming is going to be an intricate part of that. And we'll love to have you a part of our organization. So comment the word farming if you're on Instagram to get yourself registered to get on that wait list. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, the link is inside. I just dropped it again. You can head over to that link, and we're set. June 15th. We're set to drop.
That's right.
I can't wait. I can't wait. There's so much inside of this course, from seeds to chickens to trees to come on, man. I'm giving it. It's like the 5 Heartbeats last concert. I'm giving everything.
Give it all.
Give it all.
Baby doll.
Yeah, I'm giving it all. From raised beds, we got some raised beds designs nobody has. We're gonna show you how to do it. So come on in. We're excited. We're gonna learn from you and hear from you, and you make us stronger and better. Because it's some stuff I probably have forgot I ain't shared in a while. Somebody asked me, it's like, oh man, sure, I can show you how to do that. So pull it out of me, and I'm gonna keep pouring inside so you can keep pulling. And all of us will do. And somebody
I want to answer a young brother. He asked, will we be teaching about honeybees? Will we be teaching how to raise honeybees?
I got you on the honeybees. I have 13 hives. I got 2 at the school. I got you on the honeybees. Let's go. What else you got? I saw a tree forming. Miss Linda, I got you on the trees. What else we got? Come on. Give me something. Alpacas. You want to go alpacas?
Someone had a question about mushroom farming.
Mushroom farmers. I'm going to bring in the expert, Bread and Butter Farms. He's doing extremely well at mushrooms. Has a contract with the government with mushrooms. I got you. Come on. What else you got?
I'm telling you, people, we got you covered with everything from farming to USDA loans, all of those good things. We've been doing some things behind the scenes. We've been setting people up with their farm track number. Oh, check Ray out. Know about a farm track number.
Well, I hear you. I speak that language.
What? He reducing taxes? What's going on?
So that was good. We helped a good friend of ours turn their property into a farm, and it reduces taxes on this property significantly. So we was happy to be a part of that. So we have that knowledge. He has it all covered. The guy has a wealth of information. You just have to get yourself in the right rooms. That's all I can say about that, is get yourself in the right rooms. And we've done an excellent job. I feel that it's time. We're prepared. We did great. We did our best to make sure this is an easily digestible course that you can follow along. And more importantly, I want you to be a part of the community. And we want to fellowship with each other and help to continue to grow the organization.
Yeah, for sure. And coming down the pipe, inside of that too, there'll be live events that people can come to where we can go ahead and get some hands-on, boots on the ground training. You know what I mean? And all these different things that will be prepared. But coming inside of this ecosystem where you can sit down and learn, and there are going to be so many different added benefits to you joining. It's just a matter of you taking that actual plunge.
Yeah. One of the beautiful things to those that are listening is there'll be a weekly call. On that weekly call, you're able to bring your questions, you're able to bring your photos. You can even bring your camera with your live plant outside, and I'll be able to tell you what that pest is and what's going on. And so you're joining a community as well, right? You're not just going to get the course and you learn and you're missing something. You can come on and say, hey, I was in class on section number so-and-so, I got a question. Bring your questions to our weekly check-ins and we got you.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's going to be key. Right, that's going to be key. Somebody that can hold your hand and until you get that proof of concept, and then you can run on your own. That's going to be key as a new beginner farmer. It's going to be key having somebody that can oversee and confirm what you're doing is the right thing. So that's the importance of mentorship. We talk about that a lot. Many people come into our ecosystem and they're scared to pull a plug with their first time investing in land. And sometimes we always tell them, bring it to us first. Let me green light the deal, or let me red light the deal and say that's a good deal or it's not a good deal until you get comfortable to run on your own. I know for myself, when we first met, the concept of farming, because we live in New York, it went clean over my head. But some of the things that we've learned in this short time, just because I have access to you like that, it just made it seem like, oh, this is something that I could start right from my own home, right from where I'm at. I can get started today. And that's why I said we're going to be taking this journey along with you, and we'll be tapping in together. Y'all going to see the plants that Ray and Jay grow. We'll be showing our cameras and things like that. I'm more into herbs.
Progress.
That's what I'm looking for. I want to grow herbs.
Yeah,
I like to make my cheese and put my herbs in it. So that's what I'm looking for.
Right. You know, the number one thing, it's like we say when we on having our talks, right? The number one thing that a mentor does is consolidate time frames, right? So listen, y'all, I want y'all to listen to this closely, right? Why would you ever spend the time going to figure it out on your own when you have 24 years of experience to somebody who can get you to your desired result a lot faster? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Now you can spend the time doing it if you would like, but there's no trophies there. You know what I mean? No trophies there. Just a lot of time and different things of somebody who has already mastered it. And me and Ray have learned this. I'm quite sure Pat has learned this through trial and error. It is the cheat code. The cheat code is to get to somebody who's already proven the concept. I promise you, it works a lot better.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you get access not only to my mental database, but you're getting access to my database. There's not too many challenges that I run into that I can't push a button on my phone and somebody's gonna pick up and say, Pat, what you need?
Right.
And so now you have access to Pat, what you need.
Right.
So come on in. Let's come on in to Acre Boys Farming. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm willing to share. I can't wait for that first graduating class to say, oh wow, I saved the seed and grew this, and now we're eating it. Can y'all imagine what it was like? I know you're getting close to the close. Can y'all imagine about 3 years ago, my family, the entire plate came from our farm. So we had squash, zucchini, Swiss chard, spinach, lamb burgers with tomatoes, and the bread that my wife made from the wheat that we grew. Imagine the only thing that didn't come was the plate. And we will learn how to do that later on. I know a buddy who turns red clay into brick, so we can get it to plate making, right? But the entire meal came from our farm that our hands touched at some point. That's going to happen to you.
For sure.
All right, Pat, we're less than 3 minutes away. We are on Instagram. It will boot us after an hour. So we have 3 minutes left. And so we want to say, I hope this was useful to somebody. I hope this inspired somebody. That's what our platform is designed for, to inspire, motivate, and inform. I hope we accomplish all 3 of those things from this live tonight. What you need to do is, especially if it resonated with you in particular, get yourself enrolled and get yourself on the wait list. We go live this Sunday, June 15th. I'm super excited about it. I hope you are. I love to have you a part of our organization on the inside so we can begin working. This is something that is tangible. This is something that is practical. This is something that we will begin immediately. So if you have plans of having a mushroom, growing herbs or vegetables, fruits, whatever it is, that's your plans. We got you covered with Acre Boys Farming. I think it's much needed for the community. Dive in. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, the link is in the comments. And as I stated, if you're on Instagram, comment the word farming, and you'll be directed to get yourself on that waiting list. Any closing words, fellas, before we get out of here?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I just want to let everybody know that we do, when we are open this up, we are going live with it on Sunday, like Ray said, and there are 100 initial slots available 100 initial slots available. Once those go, we're going to have to make sure that the people inside are being catered to the way they need to be catered to, as far as them getting everything that they need to do in order to put them on the fast track to get them to the spot that they desire to be. So initially coming out, y'all, we have 100 slots available. I just wanted to make y'all aware of that.
Patrick, closing words?
See you in the course.
That's right.
See you in the course, people. So that's it for tonight. I hope this was helpful as I stated. And as usual, peace, love.
Let's go.